Welcome back, adventurers. Exciting news this week. Our Portofino 52 is being prepared for painting. It's a bit of a process, but entails bogging, fairing and priming. And we've been sent some real up-to-date photos of the guys at Portofino actually doing it, like yesterday. We also share a very interesting interview where we learn about yacht certification from RINA, the international certifying body, and the benefits you get from having your boat properly certified. So, kick off your shoes and come barefoot with us. We are John and Ali, the Barefoot Doctors, sailing and travelling around the globe. Join us as we share the adventure and explore the beauty of the world. Because life is better barefoot. Well guys, it's really exciting times right now because the Portofino 52 ours is being prepared for painting.
And it is looking absolutely fantastic. We're showing you some pictures now, and these come from just the last couple of days that we have been sent these photos from Portofino, right up to date. This is what's happening. What you're seeing right here is the guys spreading the filler. They keep it really thin. They only use just only enough to cover the bulges on the aluminium wells and any small hollows. So it's only just covering the aluminium. Then they sand it back until it's super smooth with no undulations or irregularities. Then of course, then they paint it and go from there. Putting it on is really quick, as you can see, but then they spend a lot of time sanding it. Then they usually put another layer of filler just to cover over any mild undulations, and that goes on until you've got an absolutely smooth surface like you saw when we were showing you the Portofino 47. And the boat starts to look really, really nice, doesn't it? So tell them about the color, honey.
So what do you think about the colour, guys? I mean, if it's good enough for Le Vagabond to have like a mango colour, surely we can have a bright high-vis green, as Chris calls it. What do you think of the colour? We'd really like you to put the comments below.
The other really important thing to discuss here while we're talking about painting is, why are we doing it?
Over to me.
Exactly.
Well, one of the biggest things is aesthetically. So we didn't want our aluminium boat to look like a hunk of metal. We didn't want it to look like a tank, like Machini or anything like that. We wanted it to look sleek and sophisticated and smooth and
graceful, fast.
Yeah, and elegant. So to do that, it's really difficult when you've still got these joins and the welding and all the irregularities on the actual body of the hull.
Polished aluminium is really, really practical because it's cheap. You don't ever have to do anything with it. You don't have to worry about scratches, but it doesn't really look very nice.
We did think about it.
We did. We gave it some serious thought, but we have chosen to go with this mainly because of the aesthetics. But the second important thing is that the paint also insulates the aluminium. If you have raw metal, whether it's stainless or aluminium, direct sun on that, it heats up enormously fast, and the paint actually reflects the sun, reflects the heat. It's not so hot to stand on, and it also transmits less heat into the boat.
Have you ever put your hand on just hot aluminium that's been out in the sun? You'll know exactly what we're talking about. And yet you put your hand on, say, a handrail or something like that, there's aluminium that's been painted. You can absolutely feel the difference. So where this really counts is we prefer sailing in the tropics, in lovely, hot, balmy countries. So we're going to need as much sun protection or sun insulation as we possibly can. That's why we really decided, okay, we'd go paint. Apart from paint, what other options are there for an aluminium boat?
Well, you can also wrap them like you can any other boat. We chose not to do the wrap mainly because they're very easy to damage. They're very easy to scratch. I mean, we saw a brand new catamaran at the Grand Mott Boat Show, only a few months old, and you also already saw damage where they had come up against docks or dock lines, and it's very visible and very hard to repair. You have to replace whole chunks of the wrap. So that's why we didn't go with that. We're going for the sleek, smooth finish of the paint, and we will share that colour with you in due course.
You just did.
Well,
the
yes.
high-vis yellow.
The high-vis yellow! So, maybe we come clean, honey.
All right, guys. So before you start putting too much in the comments about the high-vis yellow, that's not the colour we're going. That's just a primer and absolutely not our chosen colour. But we will reveal our colour in the fullness of time. Okay, guys. So now back to the video.
Okay, Okay guys, so today we're very excited because we have come to RINA, the certification body that is global, and we are here with Andrea D'Amato, a marine surveyor. Good afternoon.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. Just to give a little bit of introduction about RINA. RINA is a classification society and notification body, and it belongs to Ajax, which is the International Association of Classification Society. Our main goal in RINA is to assess and certify ship and yacht in order to show that they are meeting the requirement for safety, national and international standards, both from safety and environment friendly point of view, and of course compliance with the regulation. In RINA we conduct survey. Our classification service actually cover a wide range of activities, all of them with the scope to make sure that the yachts on ship comply with the high standard of quality. RINA certifies structure, materials, equipment, also machinery, alongside with approval drawing, plans and calculation. Then we conduct a survey on board of the yachts, checks and tests, just to make sure that the yachts met the necessary rules.
You mean they're complying with the...
So
they're being built according to the plans they submitted before?
After all these checks are done and all the requirements are met, we can assign the class to the yacht and issue the certificate of class. And this is what concerns, we can say, the admission to class. But for example, there are also yachts, what's called yacht in service, that are sailing for years, 5, 10, 15 years. In this case, RINA perform also periodical, occasional and class renewal inspection to make sure that the yacht still met the same standards for maintaining class. And all this process is necessary to make sure that throughout the life of the yacht, still the yacht meets the safety quality and all the requirements that has been done according to what has been built before.
Can you explain what you mean by class? Like it's certified to, or it's allocated a class, so is a yacht a class?
The class cover a wide field, like a yacht in our case, but we certify also ship. So it's in the maritime industry. We do certification of components as well, like steering gear, switchboard, this kind of equipment, not only referred to the yacht itself on ship.
From the yachting perspective, most yachtsmen are aware of CE certification standards, and American have the equivalent. Your work makes them compliant with these standards, doesn't it?
Our certificate it's worldwide recognized because we belong to the Ajax, which is the main group, we'll say. And usually you don't have to worry about where you are around the world if you have this kind of classification society that can do the inspection.
As I understand it, you have the standard which is set by the government or higher bodies, and then you have organizations like yourself who do the inspections and the assessments to see if you comply with those standards.
Correct.
It isn't the government or the higher bodies that do all that work, it's you do the work.
We got authorization by the administration to carry out on their behalf the survey, and then we can issue the certificate according to international standards like SOLAS or MARPOL on their behalf.
Okay, great. And I think that's important for people to be aware of. It's just how the process works really.
The advantage can be seen by different point of view. We have, for example, from the shipyard perspective, having the certification can improve significantly in the full process of the construction, give more control of it. For example, following guidelines or checkpoint according to the rules can help the shipyard to have a more streamlined process, and can be also efficient, cut the losing time and the losing part, what it can be avoided. And so the outcome should be better actually. And
you advise the shipyards how to work better, is that what you're saying?
We have our guidelines. So we need to check the several steps. During this step you need to comply with the standards. So maybe shipyard who doesn't know how to follow who doesn't know the steps, he can go directly, continue with the construction, and then if someone needs to check, we go back roads and we lose time. This kind of stuff. Instead, if you follow the procedure, you have clear steps in front of you, and it's easy to follow one by one that go backwards. Absolutely. Sometimes it's almost impossible.
Once you cut the hole, it's a hole.
That is the main problem. Then also we can consider from buyer point of view. A certified boat can give, for example, a more confidence because a third-party company check the quality during the construction. And this, I believe, can give more confidence to the buyer.
No, absolutely, and I suppose that just drop in here, you're actually you already got a degree in naval architecture and marine engineering.
Yes.
So you're a highly knowledgeable person in all of this. So those are the sort of people that are checking the boat, so you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but then also with Rina we have all the training
to
get the qualification, to do the inspection on board. Going back to the last one, we can have maybe advantage also from insurance point of view. Because have a certified boat can give insurance more confidence also to see that this yacht has been built according to some standards and most of all has been maintained according to some standards. So maybe they can give a lesser fee or instead of giving higher fee because they don't know anything about this boat, how it's been built or most of all how it's been maintained. Most of all also it's important to mention that sometimes certification is requested, like mandatory, from registration point of view. So I think overall having a board certified can give like beneficial to all the parties involved.
Can you just explain for the people out there what's the difference between a company that says this boat is certified and just a certification because they've actually certified the design and actually having a certification that says this particular boat is certified?
Inside of this certification, there are different levels of how can be carried out. Based again on the length and then the Zen category. The Zen category is distance from the shore of the boat, starting from the A, which is the oceanic, to the D, which is the closest one to the coast. Based on these two factors, we can start with the certification called Module B plus C, which is the complete one. We do a proof of drawing, we check during the supervision under the construction, and then we do the dock trial, the stability check, review documentation, and then eventually we issue the certificate of class directly from our head office in Genova, in Italy.
Right.
According to the sites, if we have a smaller size and lower design category, we can also have a less extensive certification, which is called Module A1. We certify the stability basically, documentation review, and finally the issuance of certificate. But considering the other one, we don't do the approval of drawing and the supervision during construction.
So I mean, all these manufacturers that put out lots and lots of boats, are they being certification surveys?
Different level, because for the sea boat you can certify the series, which means you certify the approval drawing, and then all the ship, all the yacht that has been built belong to that certification.
Okay. So the brands that say we've got CE certification for this boat, ours is a Leopard 45, they've got the approval for their plans and the process of how they build it, and then therefore that boat, all the boats produced under that process are approved.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Usually the shipyard issue a declaration of
compliance.
Exactly,
yeah, we did get that.
Which they say that this unit has been built according to the procedure approved by the first certificate issued by Rina, like that.
The difference with when you're building our boat is you're actually going to the boatyard to make sure the building is being done to the standard and to the plan.
Yes, exactly.
So that obviously, for us as the owner, is very reassuring. You are our policemen, so making sure we're getting a good boat.
So on this we have like some key points we stress about, which are the material check, the fitting stage, the in case of welding, pre-welding and after welding, NDT test, I mean non-destructive test. According to material you can do the liquid penetrant test, or you can do MPI, depends on the shipyard itself. We don't judge which kind of way you use. Important is one in the right procedure.
But with the welding, it was really interesting. They were doing the test with the penetrant. Can you explain what that is?
It's basically a test where you first clean the surface and you spray this first liquid material. Then you need to apply another material which is called basically should be white and red, to see that after the first application, usually is the red, you do see if there is any red coming up in the white after you apply the white.
Okay.
If there is any crack or any damage,
Small
defects,
yeah.
you can see a straight line if there is a crack or some dots, if there is any welding.
So it really shows you if
yeah.
the welding hasn't been absolutely spotless, exactly.
Yeah.
You would go to see it too. Okay, great.
No, yes, this is one of my points.
Most important one.
Then we check, for example, the junction between deck and hull, the fitting of superstructure, the piping installation. Then we go with the dock trial, inclining, and a stability test. Dock trial. So we run some tests for the equipment.
Okay.
So we check
in the water, you mean? You mean say dock?
Yeah, in the water. Yeah, in the water. But then it's when we do the stability check that we do all the calculation to see if there are any water income. Because you have the dam flooding point, which are the points, the area where the water can come inside the boat. These are the one to be checked.
Okay.
And according to this, we have some check that we do to see which is the limit, the minimum height that you have need to have from the water line.
When you do a weld, you have standards about how you need to weld. So if you have 2 bits of aluminium, you've got to do 1 layer at the bottom and 2 layers at the top.
Yeah, the procedure that needs to be approved, and then the welder needs to follow that one.
And then once the weld is completed, I do see some other catamaran builders grinding off the bulge on the...
This is a procedure that you can do, but it's very delicate moment, because until you grind only the welding seam could be okay, but the moment you can risk to go inside the welding. And
you mean so if the 2 bits of metal are like that, if you go below the level,
exactly,
then you're weakening.
Defect.
Okay.
And then you need to recover that effect. But with aluminium, it's very difficult because one filter of aluminium is very hard to re-weld.
So for the people that are building the boats themselves, should they avoid doing the grinding of that?
Honestly,
or they have to just be good at it?
Yeah, maybe aesthetical point of view, they can be treated in another way. But if they are not like expert welder of aluminium, if they built in aluminium, for example, they need to be very careful when they do such things.
So it's just because, be careful.
Yeah, because if you do damage on the aluminium,
it's
better have a welding seam ugly.
That's right. And a strong boat. Okay,
exactly.
Good point. So somebody that's building their own boat, is it worth it for like a home builder to get their boat certified in this way?
It's like on this a personal decision, because as a buyer, I honestly would like to have something that has been checked.
So the resale is very important for...
but this is my personal point of view, because it depends also on the use I want to do it. If I want to sail the ocean, for example, or stay, 200 days per year in the middle of the sea, I want to have some reassurance that the boat is built according to some standards, practice that are within the rules.
Since you've been visiting Portofino every few weeks to check the construction standards, have you been happy with everything you've seen?
Until now, we didn't find any non-compliance with ISO standards. Now the boat are being in a further stage of hard construction, I will say. And I believe that this is attributable to the good cooperation between Rina and Portofino and their attitude to always start to check all the matters in advance with the class. And this is, I think, what is most important at the beginning of the construction. Having sorted out upon approval, so you can go free with construction itself without any delay.
With any certification standards, and as a doctor, we have to approve accreditation, and we have to get our practice certified and all that sort of stuff. And the paperwork is absolutely horrible. So I'm saying the medical paperwork is horrible, but I know you're working to standards set by the European community authorities, and their paperwork is pretty scary, isn't it? I mean, it's scary
at first view, yes, can be scary.
Even the naval architects who haven't been working with the ISO standards or the body read a certain bits of documentation and they don't understand exactly what is being said or how far that goes.
If they are in doubt which way to do this, to that, we see if it is within the rules or without.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think that's very good that you're supporting the builders when there's grey area as well.
Yeah.
If you don't ask before you do it, you might be under the line, and then
and you don't want for one detail not get the certification as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. It seems like the relationship between you and Portofino is very good.
Oh yeah, on this actually, yes, exactly. I'm happy to say that we work in parallel because, as I mentioned before, every step they start to discuss in advance with the class in order to have all the green lights to see, okay, we can proceed like that, or what we can do to go with the rules. So, yeah, for now we work in parallel, and hopefully in the next year our collaboration will grow more and more, and strengthen more.
And hopefully they'll make a lot more boats, so it'll become easy. But it's very reassuring to us as the owners. You're examining the boats so regularly and they're being built to standard. Thank you very much, Andrea. It's been wonderful talking to you, and thank you very much for giving us your time.
Oh, anytime.
Absolutely wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming here.
It's a
It was a pleasure.